Chapter 5, being the father that you've always wanted. If your father wasn't there for you, or he was there too much for you, you have a chance to reparent yourself. That's what we help men understand, is inside yourself you've got a child, you have an adult, and you have a parent. And so understand what it means to be the good father to yourself. Be that father to yourself. Be the father to the boy inside that didn't have the father that he needed. It's not too late. And then also bring that fathering energy to others and receive it from those that have to give it. So Chapter 6, mentoring. There's a distinction between fathering and mentoring. A father is supposed to be there as a provider, to put a roof over his children's head, to put food on the table, and to be there to guide them, in a certain way. But there's a time in the life of each individual, boys in this case, obviously, when they need to leave home, and they need to go off. A mentor essentially helps them to cut that cord with their parents and to go off and to bond with nature. The mentor looks into the heart and into the soul of that mentee, of that young fella, and he sees what his gifts are. He helps him to understand what they are, possibly what his destiny path is in the world. Chapter 7, self-discipline. There are different traits, I think, in being a spiritual warrior. And self-discipline is one of them. In M. Scott Peck's book, The Road Less Traveled, he had 4 sections in that book. And the first book was on discipline, before he even got to the section on love. I think that what we have to understand is what it means to be accountable to ourselves and responsible men in the world as spiritual warriors. We have a lot to give. We have to first understand what it is that we need for ourselves, and then what we have to give to others. Chapter 8, positive intention. Intentionality is so key, it's so important. What do we intend in life? And are we going to be positive, or are we going to be negative forces in the world? And as positive individuals, we carry such an important responsibility to open up the world to others in a way that they understand what can be done to make a positive difference. What can we do in a world that's in crisis? What difference can be made when there's so much negativity, there's so much crisis? As grandfather spoke to us about the state of the world these days, spiritual warriors actually look to see what can be done to make a positive difference and how to change it in a way that can help the world and people at large. Chapter 9 is valiant. The spirit, there was a time when there were knights of the Round Table, and these knights were men of character, and valor was one of the traits of being, a knight in the world. I think it takes a lot of courage these days to be a spiritual warrior. Men have to walk that path. They have to walk, with a certain discipline and a certain level of responsibility. But they also have to be very courageous within themselves to walk that path in such a way that they can get the job done. And fear and anxiety is endemic to our society these days. There's so much anxiety out there. Men have to learn how to feel that fear and get the job done anyway, and move through that fear. It takes tremendous valor, tremendous courage. Chapter 10, honorable. I say to men that integrity is one of the most important things that you have. Integrity is like the North Star. And if you have a compass and you know your direction, you know where you're going, then essentially you will stay in integrity. It's being integrous in terms of body, mind, and spirit. It's being honest. It's being truthful. To thine own self be true. It said that integrity is what you do when you think that no one knows. When you think that you could get away with whatever it is that your ego might want you to try to get away with. But if you're a man of integrity, no matter what else is happening to you, you can feel much more centered. You can feel like even though life is complex, you're not overly complicating life. you know what your center pole is. So if you go to the edge, you have something to hold on to so that you don't fall off. Chapter 11, compassion. Understanding is the bridge to compassion. It's so important for us these days to be kind, to be loving, to have compassion. The Buddha said that enlightenment comes through suffering, honorably suffering, consciously. And then it is the ability to let go of suffering and to be compassionate. Suffering teaches us in a way, if we suffer consciously, how to be more compassionate. It opens our hearts. And spiritual warriors have to learn how to take that suffering that's in the world and in their own personal lives and to transform that into not only compassion for others, but compassion for themselves. Compassion starts with self-compassion, with the ability to be gentle with oneself and to walk a gentle path in the world. That's what a spiritual warrior teaches others. He models that, how to be gentle, and yet to get the job done.